Oh, hey. Caught me in my slippers. This is so embarrassing, actually. Um, I just finished one of those financial seminars on like how to get really rich. I've just had a lot of time on my hands lately on account of I lost my job. And so I've just been spending a lot of time job searching on the internet. I'm just looking for any help, any tip I can get on how I can get back out there, how to make money, how to save it. And so I was typing in debt-free, and then 30 clicks later, I was on this YouTube, and it was like one of those little ads that, and like at the end of the ad, they're like, click here for this free seminar. And then an hour later, I was thoroughly educated on this idea of building wealth. So it turns out, quick recap, and if you need the link, I can send it to you later, but I'll try to do my best to explain it. I'm no financial whiz. But basically what they were saying in the seminar, these very good-looking people, by the way, who made me feel really good about myself, they're like, all you have to do is just put away a couple $100s a month, and that builds interest. And then that interest builds interest. And, in 30 short years, you're a millionaire. And I actually really liked the sound of that. I was really excited listening to this. It was very convincing. I was like, I could do this. And then it ended, and I sat there, and I realized I don't have $200 a month that I can put away to build interest. I don't even have 50. And I started thinking about just my debt, like my car payment, my student loans, my rent, just so much. And I wish I would have done better. I mean, I wish in high school someone would have explained a credit score to me and how to not make it terrible. I was just feeling really, really down after that presentation. I'm wondering, what am I gonna do? And this is equally embarrassing because not something I normally do, but I just typed hope into the Google search bar. I don't know what I expected. I mean, I know where to find hope, right? God. But I just needed something. And I got pages and pages of search results, and I scrolled through 8 of them, and I just didn't find anything worth clicking on. And I needed a break. I knew I couldn't handle much more of this. So I shut my computer, and I went to get the mail. Because I was like, I can just get a little fresh air, stretch my legs for 2 minutes. So I put my Crocs on. I went out to my mailbox. And I stood there, and I took a deep breath because who knows what's going to be in there, right? Who knows? But I opened my mailbox, and I was delighted. There was a card in there from this woman. I used to live next door to her. She's an elderly lady. She's my grandparents' age, and she was so kind to me when I lived next to her. And even though I moved away, she still sends me a Christmas card every year. And I was surprised just because that's not something I had remembered that she did, and seeing it there, it just made me so happy. And I opened it up, and this is so silly. There were $10 in the card. And I just couldn't believe it. I just stood there, and I looked up at this guy, and I think I actually laughed. And I looked around me, and here I am. I'm standing. I was so cold, did not put a coat on. Crocs do not insulate your feet well, no matter what the kids say. And there were just these huge, fluffy snowflakes falling from the sky. And they were landing on my hands and on my hair. I looked like a snow globe, and I was holding this $10, just $10 in one hand, and this beautiful card in the other. And on the front of the card, it said, Hope of the World. And on the inside, there was this really beautiful pencil drawing of Mary holding the baby Jesus, not drawn by my neighbor, but part of the card. And there was that verse from Luke, Mary stored up all these treasures and pondered them in her heart. And I just thought, I have so many treasures. I don't have $200 to put away, but I have so many treasures. And I just knew I could do better. I don't know if I can look any harder for a job. I don't know if I can save any more money than I'm already saving. But I can have a better attitude. I can remember that I have treasures. I was just thinking about Mary's treasure. I mean, she's sitting there, she's holding this little baby, and that's her treasure. And when Luke wrote those words and he passed them down from generation to generation to us, everyone who read those words, they get that treasure too. I have that treasure. And so I'm trying to think about how I can store up those treasures so that in 30 years, I can go back and look at what I have. I can look at that wealth, and I can remember how rich I am. And I was just thinking about how hard this is for me, how hard everything is for everyone right now, and thinking about the fact that we who know about this treasure, we have this hope. People who don't know about it, it must be really, really hard for them. And I was thinking about my neighbor. She's not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, she struggles financially. And here she is sending me money out of what little she has. She's being generous. And I just knew I had to be generous with what I have. And it's not money. I don't have that to give away. But I have this hope. And I hope, like me, you'll start to think about how you can give that hope away to a world who desperately needs it right now. So during this Advent season, think about that hope that you have, that treasure that you've built up. And go out into the world and find ways to give it away.